What's going on, cosmic panelers? Welcome back to the cosmic
Cos-
panel.
Cosmic heads.
Yeah, it's gonna catch on. Hey everybody, welcome back to the cosmic panel. Today we're talking about Star Wars: The Mandalorian and Grogu. Um, that's right. We saw Baby Yoda the movie, and we're
No,
here.
no, that's coming out next week.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, they
Yeah.
better. They're setting up the Baby Yoda verse.
hmm
So spoilers galore, guys. If you haven't seen the movie, don't watch this review. We're talking about our hopes for the Baby Yoda verse. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, we took a minute to record this, so that's why it's coming out so late. But um, yeah, I mean, it was
I guess
it was
okay.
a what should we do?
Well,
Sentence
I was
first.
gonna say sure, but I was gonna say, are you? How much of a Star Wars fan would you say that you are going into this? I guess to
I'm
get a
more of a
baseline.
fan of the offshoot stuff at this point. Like, but I've seen a large amount of Star Wars media, like visual media, I guess you would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, me too. I grabbing the visual media.
Um, but yeah, at this point, like I was very curious about this movie going in because of how we sort of lost all momentum from the last trilogy. This being, the first Star Wars movie in what feels like quite some time now. Um, right, unless what could I be forgetting? I mean,
I, there
no.
wasn't anything since the last trilogy. They canceled they announced and canceled a whole bunch of stuff in between this
Oh yeah,
coming
okay,
out.
right.
Um
So yeah,
I'm
but
trying to
why do you ask?
well just to get a baseline for where cuz I know there's also some people. I consider myself a Star Wars fan. I definitely know a lot more Glub Shitos than most people. Um I'm I also know that there's a lot of people that are way into, like, I have a friend that knows everything about the Legends canon, can name every random character and story arc and all that. And I know people Star Wars is one of those that there's a lot of levels of how deep you can get into it.
Yeah, that's not me, but I
Yeah.
definitely enjoy like um I guess I would say I enjoy certain areas of the world more than others, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Which totally respectable, and I think that's something that really, like, coming off of Andor is amazing. But it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone who likes, like, it's not Star Wars is a big thing. A lot of people like a lot of different stuff. So personally, I was really hoping that this would be. It didn't have to be Andor, but I, I was hoping that this would be a really big, like you said, the first big movie in a while. So I was hoping this would be like boom out the gate, especially with Filoni, the Star Wars guy. This being his kind of first movie that he wrote since taking complete control of Star Wars. He's now the Star Wars guy, and so I was expecting this, hoping for this to be like, this is gonna be the thing. This is gonna be getting the ball rolling again.
Yeah, it is strange to me how surface level this felt,
Mm-hmm.
being the first Star Wars movie in a long time. It definitely just felt like Mandalorian the movie, like, and what I mean by that is
Yeah,
like, taking the show but making it a full length movie. And that's all well and good, but it is a very strange choice given where we're at with the franchise and given, just sort of the state of Disney and perhaps the dip in MCU interest, which I feel like is a kind of universal thing.
yeah,
So, yeah, it is very strange in that way. Does it have enjoyable aspects? For sure. But yeah, it definitely is odd when you put it that way. It's a good point.
yeah, and especially considering other stuff, it's $300 million to make this movie. From what I saw, reported production budget of 166 million. So they say basically double that because those never include stuff like advertising and all that stuff. So that's like $300 million. Um, it says, according to IMDb, the global break even is 500 million. So that's how much they need to make
Wow.
to.
What does it say it's at
I don't
now?
know how they got. I saw that they just, um, as of 1 day ago, they went past 100 million. So they're not
Domestically or globally?
uh
Oh,
domestically, domestically.
okay. I was gonna
So
say.
they're on track.
Hmm.
Um, but it's feels a little slow, and it feels like, again, for this movie and how it got made and all that stuff, it it felt very. I mean, I think I texted you guys coming out of it, like immediately when I came out of it. The only thing in my head was that it felt very safe and
Mm-hmm.
very harmless. Was
Yeah.
the only word I could think of, was that it was harmless. It
Yeah.
wasn't like the greatest movie in the world. It wasn't the worst movie in the world. It just it was 2 hours of, you get to watch Star Wars stuff and then go home and then not think about it again. Um,
It was as I might put it, my metric. It was fun.
yeah, yeah. That's also what I said. I said, to quote Elias, it was fun. I didn't come out of it feeling like, oh man, that sucked. Especially after The Boys, um, like seeing all of that build up and how that went. Like, this wasn't as bad as that. And I've seen a lot of people get really mad about this movie,
Hmm.
and I think the thing for me is that this movie did not stir enough emotion in me for me to get mad.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel anything
Right.
afterwards, which I guess is probably a horrible sign, to come out of a movie and not feel anything. But
Yeah. Hmm. That is really interesting. Yeah. I, I guess I don't want to keep harping on the same points here, but yes, I do agree that it's nothing to get like angry about, I guess, unless you're um maybe still pissed off about the trilogy. Maybe
yeah,
that's why. But anyway, yeah, this is definitely if you enjoyed the Mandalorian show, I think you'll enjoy the movie. It has a lot of, the same sense of adventure and action and great, fight scenes, action scenes, um, creature designs. I did enjoy a lot of the creature designs in this
yeah.
one, especially like in the arena. There were some really cool guys.
That is something that I was a little bit lacking in Andor. One of
Mm,
the few, like, more of a nitpick than anything, is that
hmm
99% of the time you saw a human in Andor, and so I like that there was a lot of weird ass creatures in this and a lot of weird ass people.
Yeah,
Um,
I liked the sets a lot. Really enjoyed the water pit set at the Jabba the Hutt twins.
oh, that was
Um,
cool.
I thought that was really cool. I liked all the how we really got like a sense of the room. Um, Oh, I really liked some of the practical effects in this. I really enjoyed the giant droids outside of the
Oh,
Hutt's chamber.
yeah, those were cool. And all the droids, visually, it was really good. There wasn't a lot of weird CGI or anything like that.
Yeah.
And the other droids, like all of the weird Frankenstein scavenge droids, were really cool. I wish I sort of like, one of those things that I want to be like, who the fuck are those guys? Like, I
Yeah.
want to know who the, because they said something. I don't remember what they called them, but they called them a specific name
Oh, they had a name for him. Okay.
that I had never heard before.
Mm,
I'm not, I don't know everything in Star Wars, but I'd never heard it before. And I was like, wow, that's cool. It would have been cool to learn a little bit more about them.
yeah.
Um,
They could
trying to
have
think.
could have stood to give us more about that.
That's I also felt a little bit, weirdly enough, like going into this, I was a little worried with the way Filoni's stuff is, that it would be a lot of glupshidos and what's his name? Zeb, the, I don't know if you know him, the Mando's alien friend who was like piloting the ship some of the time. He's from Rebels.
Yeah.
He has backstory. Him, and then,
This is his first live action appearance, right?
yeah, I mean, there was like a cameo in one of the last Mandalorian episodes or
Oh,
something,
well,
but
right.
like,
Yeah. but big
This is his
screen.
first real one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Voiced by the same actor, which is cool.
Yeah,
Um, Rada was back. Um, and then that was kind of it. And I was really expecting, especially from Filoni, who all of his shows are like him mashing his action figures together with like now Maul's back, and then Ahsoka's here, and then getting the guy, and then Thrawn is here, which the Ahsoka show too, like was building up Thrawn and all that stuff. And I was coming into this ready to be like, all right, I know Filoni, he's gonna throw in a bunch of glup shittos, a bunch of fucking action figures, and just have you tour things and do all that. But I was sort of okay with it because I was like, maybe he's going to build up a new trilogy, a new arc to be like, all right, Thrawn's the big bad guy we got to hunt down with the show and stuff. And we got almost the opposite, where we got like, if you don't know who Zeb is, you don't even really know his name. Like, you don't even get introduced to him. Um, no one's really Rada kind of only has two personality, like two character traits, which is he likes to fight and he doesn't want to be Jabba. Um, like there was the weird swamp guy, which was neat. There was, but there's a lot of these like characters that like just were nothing, and it just felt like, and I was so ready to be like the other way, to be annoyed that it would be like there were too many characters and too much stuff going on. There wasn't enough, and I kind of sort of, there's a lot in this movie personally that I was like, I give me more, tell me more, please, I'm begging you.
yeah, it's interesting actually. Again, just for this to be like their return and to not be trying to make some big like universe, size threat or story is really really
Yeah,
weird. Just sort of like I guess yeah, being afraid to like determine what the next trilogy is. I guess like this is almost like they're biding time.
yeah,
I guess. Like they know people like Baby Yoda, they know people like Mando, but almost like biding time, just being like, yeah, this is like, he's doing like, he's being a bounty hunter, but he's doing good, and he's fighting the remnants of the Empire and that kind of thing.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it really, really does kind of play, yeah, just again, play it very safe, and have a good time within those constraints. But yeah, again, just not really set up anything larger, um, or try and really introduce us to too many characters. Like basically just being like, oh, Jabba the Hutt. Here's the Hutt twins, like
yeah,
that kind of thing. Yeah. Well, what I will say is like basically what my takeaway from this is like baby Grogu is really fun, super cute. I
yeah.
laughed and giggled and hee heed.
Yeah, and then him with the other
And then
tiny
man,
guys,
yeah, and the other tiny
like,
guys are
oh,
fun.
that's fun.
And then Mando, kicks ass. I really like I don't what the fuck is the other bounty hunter's name that ended up capturing him and
Oh,
taking him
I
in?
don't fucking know. And that's someone else. He's from Clone Wars,
Yeah, I thought so, right?
and as far as I know, he doesn't have a lot in Clone Wars either. Like he's just another.
Yeah.
That's what it like. This movie, a lot of stuff and characters like him thrown in just for like aura farming, which is neat. Like that's a classic Star Wars. Fucking Darth Maul, his entire character, and Boba Fett and all that. They're entirely just characters who showed up and then fucking aura farmed, and then everyone liked them so much that we needed more. But it it's kind of hard when everyone in the movie is doing their own sort of version of that, and then you just sort of like have a weird like Mando's gonna do his cool silent aura farming bounty hunter thing, but then he's fighting another silent bounty hunter guy who's doing his thing, and then and just becomes, for me it just like
Right.
is too much of the same thing.
Mm. I thought he was pretty badass and like had really cool combat moments, but
Yeah, the
um
choreography throughout the whole
yeah.
movie was pretty neat. It was pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool.
It was
um
really funny to see the Hutts fighting each other at the end, just fucking breaking shit.
Oh yeah.
just
I
fucking
think
bashing into each other.
how Rada moved was kind of cool, and the Huts in general. But like the rolling and all of the weird slug moves is like, all right, that's cool. That yeah, he's not a person, so he wouldn't be doing fucking human karate. He'd be doing some weird stuff. That was neat.
Yeah, they found a way um to make it make sense and for him to have like his own fighting style that was true to his species. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because especially like the trailers and stuff, you're like a jacked hut. Like this is stupid, and then you see it and you're like, oh yeah, he would be kind of scary if they were actually good.
Right, right, right. Um, but yeah, I enjoy, the practical, the sets. In general, I do like this is kind of my favorite area of the Star Wars universe is like the underground. So, I like seeing him like go to like the bar looking for, um, the guy that's basically holding Rada, hostage or
Yeah,
under contract. Like I like seeing that whole kind of planet really. I like the chase sequence. I thought that was fun. Um, I like seeing, that they have their own currency, like, or what's valuable there. Like, that's the kind of shit that I really enjoy in the Star Wars universe. And I'm not, I don't get upset when it's not like having to do with a larger thing. But
yeah,
when you're, you know, when you're lacking in some sort of cohesion and like everyone's wondering where the universe is at, I can understand why it's, somewhat frustrating.
yeah, and especially with like, look, you don't need to have the larger universe. You definitely don't need to like focus on the Skywalkers every 2 seconds and that thing. Like that's sort of as we know from the sequel trilogy. It's like you can kind of just do it too much. People want to see something new. Um, and like it's neat when Luke shows up, but like we don't want the story to just be Rebels Empire again and again and again. But if you're not going to do that, if you're not going to do a big overarching thing, have this be its own thing and like before recording this I was talking to my dad about the movie and I was like I I realized did anyone learn anything? Did anything happen like did the course of this movie what happened? They blew up the huts by the end of it. Okay. Did Mando and Grogu learn anything? I guess that Mando's gonna die eventually. Did Rada learn anything? Not really. Like it feels very like what happened. It felt like a Simpsons episode where from the start to the end nothing really changed, and like a bunch of crazy shit happens in the middle, and then by the end they're all happy at home and like oh haha. Well, I guess we learned our lessons. Like, did you?
No, that's fair. Um, Yeah, I think it was just sort of squashing the remnants of the empire, and now we have Coin, who's like was the big question mark guy. So like, there's still
Yeah.
more empire like people to hunt down, but it's sort of showing just like the rebel fights. The rebels are still fighting back every day. Like it's what I mean. Like it's just very
Yeah.
like again just like it's a drop in the bucket kind of thing. But I do think there something did happen. It's just again not very. It wasn't huge. Like,
Yeah, it felt like it was interesting and like stuff happened, but it felt like you could skip this one and then the next whatever thing you wouldn't be missing anything. Um which Marvel had the opposite problem where you miss one show and all of a sudden you're like, who the fuck are these guys? What is why is Thanos back now? Oh, you didn't watch fucking Wanda and Albert Einstein show? You don't know why Thanos is back? He's back now, and now you got to watch Avengers. It's like that's a problem, and this almost had the opposite thing where it was like you could have just not watched this movie and not miss out on the next one, which again, fine, but then have this movie be a good story and closing it. Really, it plateaued out for me. I don't know if you know, because it really explains a whole lot. This wasn't this was written as separate Mandalorian episodes, and they crammed them into one movie.
I mean, it
And
makes sense, but no, I didn't
it
explicitly know
it
that.
it feels like it. Like I feel like anyone who sees this movie and then I tell you that you're not really surprised because in some ways it's great. It feels exactly like the Mandalorian show, and in other ways it's like, whoa, this couldn't have been a mini series or like a special like the Punisher thing or something like that. Like just a one shot, put it out and be done. Like I don't know. I was really left wondering like why this happened.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny timing, because it's like, yes, everybody knows Baby Yoda. Like that's like a, it was. It's funny because that's like a cultural like. Yeah, it is a weird choice, given that some people might not have watched the show, but they know who Baby Yoda is. So it's like, if they put this movie out like, I don't know, however many years ago, like at the height of like Baby Yoda fandom, like I feel like this would have been a lot more interesting and exciting for people.
Yeah. And even now it could have been a good jumping off point for people who are kind of new to Star Wars. Maybe they only saw Mandalorian, or maybe this was their first thing or something. Um, to be like, hey, this is where we're kind of at in the canon or the story or whatever, that um we're before the sequels right now and after the original trilogy, so it's a little, this is where we are, and show off what things are like without, you don't even have to do a big game changing like, oh, we're fighting big bad guy, like something like that. And in some ways it was neat with the whole like remnants of the empire and all that. But yeah, it just the timing and then what it was and everything, it just felt like a little bit off.
It's weird that they didn't try and like, no, there was no, it almost felt like there was no like Disney CEO agenda here where they were like, all right, you got to hint and set up the next like the next thing, or there has to be a big character cameo. Like there was none of that, which is really interesting. um
Yeah.
there wasn't even like a big talking, like I remember in the trailers like everybody was freaking out like, oh, Pedro has his helmet off, and that was like a maybe 10-minute sequence in the whole
Right.
movie.
And like, okay, like
Like
now,
there was no clickbait nature of this whole movie, which is
yeah.
so
And if we
interesting.
turn on that sort of Star Wars, because I'm thinking of like, oh, if you're a new person, we turn on that Star Wars brain. He learned nothing from the whole take your helmet off. Like he had this whole moment in the show about meeting all these other Mandalorians. Not all of them have that rule. It wasn't really a rule. It's just his weird cult has that rule. Not everyone has that and all that stuff. He had the dark saber and gave it up, and there's other Mandalorians, and there's all this stuff going on, and then it feels like we're back to square one where it's like, oh, I took off your helmet, you're shamed. It's like, wasn't he already banished? Isn't that where we left off, that he got banished? So why does he, okay, so he still cares, but we're not going to talk about that. Like it felt very like, even if we look at it with Mandalorian, it doesn't make a ton of sense to me why some of this is happening. I don't know.
It's almost like they took like the buzzword like elements, or the most memorable like elements that you like saw when you were scrolling on like Instagram about the show, and they just stuck to those rules.
Yeah, yeah. And like, I don't know if it works, all right, but do something else, like a little bit of something else. Mandalorian was Mandalorian, and everything was like very much the same. Like we said, Grogu was neat. Seeing him do more of his own thing, I
Yeah,
like that.
I really liked his sequence where basically it's like a Grogu episode.
Yeah,
Where he's like going back and forth trying to nurse Mando. I thought that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. Um, I really thought he was gonna die for a second there too, but
yeah,
I knew they were most likely not going to do that. But for a second, I was like, oh, maybe they are going to do something,
yeah.
something big.
Well, that would have been
Um,
interesting.
because
That
at
that would
that
have been risky.
right,
They do not take risks here in this Star Wars.
nah, at that point in the movie, I thought it was coming to an end too. Like it felt pacing wise, like it was the end. I was like, oh, that's it. Like shit, that would be crazy.
Yeah,
But it wasn't the end. I don't know. It felt like long enough at that point, I guess. But you know, obviously they had to hit that 2 hour mark or whatever.
yeah.
But um, no, yeah, I like some of those like character features and stuff like that. But yeah, when you have like Mando, who's very much like the straight character, everybody's has to just play off of him. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? So I think obviously Grogu plays well off of him. I don't know, you need like a little bit more out of the other characters.
Yeah, like Zeb was there for 30 seconds and it seemed like they were going to have a dynamic and then didn't. Like they got kidnapped by the Huts. Like he went home and then he got kidnapped by the bounty hunter and the Huts and all that stuff. And then you sort of lost that like tiny bit of a dynamic that was forming. And then Rada too leaving, and then he got like from that point it just felt like what was starting to be kind of interesting just kind of disappeared because you took away half the characters. They weren't super deep characters in the first place from like when they were there. So to take them away halfway is like I don't know why you even included them
It's kind
other
of
than again
funny,
clickbait.
right? It's kind of funny having a 2 hour movie versus what potentially it could have been an 8 hour show, right? Because hour long episodes, it's usually about 8 episodes in a Disney Plus show now. So it's almost funny how if it was a show, would it have been
Hmm.
better because they could have actually developed these characters further, and actually had like maybe us care a little bit more about them, especially when you're like introducing like a whole new like rebel, leader or faction leader, whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Um,
she and Sigourney Weaver phoned it the fuck in. She really was
yeah,
not like trying at all.
I
And
don't
Jeremy
know.
Allen White too, but like she was really like her like three scenes. She was just like, "Yeah, all right. Here you go, Mando. Here's your mission. You got a new ship. See ya." It's like, "Okay, cool. I guess you got the 1 day Sigourney Weaver filming package and that was it." Also, like Rada as a he was very like I don't want to be like my father, Jabba. I don't want anyone to know that I am the son of Jabba the Hutt. And I will win this fight and be free so that no one will remember that I am the son of Jabba the Hutt. Because I don't want anyone to know that I am the son of Jabba the Hutt. I am Rada, the son of Jabba the Hutt. Like, it's like, okay, we get it.
What I wish Mando, well, I wish Mando would have said something at all. Once the crowd starts cheering for Mando to finish him off, I wish Mando
Mm.
would have been like, "Look, they're here for because they're bloodthirsty or they're here for the sport. They don't care about you."
Yeah.
Like I thought that would have been. I thought he should have just come out and said that because that's such a big like part of his character, or they could have made that like a very
Yeah.
important part of his character. Is like these people don't care about you. They were probably afraid of you once you started winning those battles because they knew that you were Jabba the Hutt's son, and B, they were just there because it was good fights. Like it was good entertainment for them. Like it's
Yeah.
very surface level for them. So I thought that was genuinely an interesting moment when they were like Mando had his blade to his throat, and they were like cheering, and like you see the expression in Rada's face, but they don't. I wish they would have just come out and said it
Yeah.
because that would
And
have just added another depth, to the character and him being like, oh shit, they don't give a fuck. Let me,
especially
help out the resistance or whatever the fuck.
with how like non-violent they made Mando in this, which like I guess that is sort of the progression of his story arc is that in the first couple episodes he's so eager to get killing and then by this point he's sort of like no this is kind of fucked up. um and it's kind of new for him in this movie. I guess that is something they did new for him to just straight up say it, to be like no, I try not to be violent when I can help it. I try to be peaceful when I can help it. And like yeah, you're right. That was the moment to like really hammer home that whole like, look, see that I learned this lesson, and now you need to learn this lesson that you can't do that. I also thought at the end Rada was gonna take over the hut, like he was gonna kill the twins and take over, and maybe we'd have something like the Huts working with the rebels, or like they're not criminals anymore or something. They're now just like some trading, something like that. Um,
No, Amanda was just like blow the whole shit up
yeah, blow the
while
whole
I'm
shit
in
up,
it.
which I guess is interesting because that's like the Huts' home planet, and then I guess the Huts are like the cartel. They're like there's three or four in the Star Wars universe, and the Huts are like the main one. Um, and so like to do that, I would hope maybe they do something interesting, like the next show or movie is like, oh, the Huts are gone, so the Pikes are taking over or whatever. But who knows if they're even going to remember that because they just kind of blew it up and didn't talk about it. And then the whole thing was like, this is Hut territory, it's neutral territory, we can't do anything. The Huts are in charge here. And then all the X-wings and shit show up and just blow up the whole building, and like no one talks about it other than the fact that like, no, you're in the building, but no one's like, oh, we're gonna blow up the largest crime syndicate that the galaxy has ever known, and we're just, this is all we needed to do the whole time, send like
That is kind of
12
funny.
X-wings and kill all the Huts, and then that we could have taken them out ages ago.
Yeah. Maybe it's because like they were trying to just be cooperative, but then once they realized they were working for the Empire, they were like, yeah, now they gotta die.
Yeah,
I
I
guess.
guess.
I guess.
But it's things like that where it's like, you could have spent a little more. Again, you don't necessarily, I know a lot of people didn't like it with the prequels, the whole like talk about trade routes and all that shit. And I know some people don't like that with Andor, has a little bit of that. They're talking about politics and laws and all that. Not that I'm against it. I love that shit. But you don't even have to go that far to make, just have something other than Sigourney Weaver being like, "Oh, we found out that we're working with the Empire. We can blow them up." Have a little bit of a moment of like, "Oh, should we really do this? Are we sure?" All that stuff. Like in hindsight, I'm like, "Shit, that was that. Those were the fucking Huts. That was like,
Right. It just leaves such a question of like what the fuck are they planning? Like what's next? I haven't watched the mall show yet. I do want to do that, but like
yeah." I've been
none of these
pleasantly
things
surprised with
are
that, with the
okay.
mall show. I know this
Yeah.
isn't a review of the mall show, but that's sort of like,
Yeah.
all right, it's Maul and he's doing, but it's sort of a little bit of a mystery that even though you're watching him, you're like, what is his plan? What is it that he is trying to do here?
Hmm.
Where this show kind of didn't have any of that. I mean, the show movie didn't have any of that. It was just like, all right, now he's got to kill that guy. All right, now he's got to find this guy. All right, now he
Hmm.
kills this guy. We know exactly what's happening. There's no mystery. There's no sense of suspense or anything.
Yeah, it just leaves a big question of like where are they going with Star Wars? Like for a minute they were, really just focusing on the prequel, content, which is fine.
Yeah,
I definitely think there's no lack of animated content to do within this universe, if they wanted to, but like almost a strange kind of neglect on the larger creative officers to not like try and make something of this or do something larger with this
yeah,
when people, I think, pretty widely did not enjoy the last trilogy. Yeah, all in all, a fun romp, but definitely very strange at this point in time in the Star Wars universe.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think if you're interested, unless you have like the AMC free movie pass or whatever, just wait for streaming and just see it there.
I'm gonna give Star Wars, Mandalorian, and Grogu 3 out of 5 blue cookies.
Yeah, were those like fucking?
They looked exactly like
Yeah,
macaroons.
I was like, they were just straight up macaroon.
Macarons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's another thing. I know Star Wars like just takes a lot of real life stuff and just says like, this is actually a space cookie. But that
Yeah.
one, I was a little bit taken out. I was a little bit like, well, that's just, they just grabbed actual candy, like actual cookies.
It's funny.
Um, yeah, I will give it, yeah, 3 out of 5. Weird little Martin Scorsese food stands.
I did like that guy. It just reminded me
He
I
was
did like
good.
that guy. I really liked his how emotive and physical like he was.
Yeah, that's
And I
that's something that I gotta say also about like the animation or choreography, whatever you want to call it. A lot of times, characters with 4 arms, it'll just be 2 arms doing the same exact thing, and I liked seeing him where like his arms did different things. That
yeah.
it felt like 4 arms doing different things instead of one guy with like just copy pasted his arms.
Yeah, yeah.
So that
No.
was neat, and he
No,
was,
sure.
his voice acting was better than Jeremy Allen White's. Like,
Yeah, I like I said, I did like the practical a lot, but speaking of like stuff that I want to see like in Star Wars content at this point is the food. Like give me just spend a little time on the food. That's fine. I don't care. Like I'm happy to see him make a fucking sandwich. Like that's
yeah,
just like the
like
fun little like detail shit that I love.
you don't have to do a big like lightsaber battle or speeder chase or something all the time. Like you can, I like that little bit of where they were working on his ship at his house and just chilling and stuff. Like that was a nice too, little slice of life.
All right. Well, don't forget to like,
High
subscribe.
energy video.
Yeah. Comment below what Easter egg you noticed in Mandalorian and Grogu. If you saw Ping Pongus in the swamp
Yeah.
scene and we missed it,
Which club shido.
yeah, let us
Or
know.
for all of you the angry nerds out there, which fucking legend storyline did this ruin your chances of?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Why wasn't Ping Pongus the general in charge of the Hutt's army? There was no Hutt's army. That ruins his Ping Pongus's whole story.
Maybe they didn't care about blowing them up because they were the only two like like sentient like beings on the whole planet because everyone else was just a fucking droid except for the one swamp dude. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope he's good.
Oh my god, the swamp dude is probably like, what the fuck happened over there? Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just chilling now, I guess. Give
Yeah.
us that show. Give us
Yeah.
his
Does he have a
season.
name? Tell us in the comments if he's got a story. He probably already has like a 12 issue comic run just about his backstory.
From Dark Horse, yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know.
No, they probably came out with that this week, or the week
Yeah.
that the week
There's a
the
whole
movie
wiki
came out.
page. There's definitely a whole wiki page
Yep.
about how he was actually in the prequels. He was at the Battle of Ping Pongus. Um,
How this one character's appearance is a subtle nod.
is he Darth Plagueis?
Okay,
I'm gonna
bye.
end the video.